Nick's just fallen off something. Welcome to The Wave. My name is Adam.
My name's Nick. Welcome to the weekly news and chat show from the world famous Bottom of the Stream podcast.
Seems a while since we've done one of these.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. So we've got a bumper episode today.
Did you have a good holiday?
I did, thank you. It was very nice.
Yeah?
Very chilled. Only got rained on once, which was a bit of a miracle.
Okay.
Because it did rain every day, but mostly overnight, which is always good, I suppose.
Oh, that's helpful.
Yeah. No, it was really nice. Got sunburn one day.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Can't
Even
beat that.
better. That is a successful trip, I would say.
Yeah, I think it was.
Managed to
I think
get to the last of the summer sun.
Yes. Yeah, it was nice. It's really good. Walks on the beach. Just walking, basically.
Good.
Did 16,000 steps one day.
Oh, my word.
I don't usually do that in a week. Did that in a day. I'm quite proud of myself.
Yeah, it's tough going through some of those sand dunes as well.
Yeah, definitely it was. It's very hilly around there as well.
Probably add a couple of thousand of real steps onto that as well.
I will do then.
Yeah,
if you're
do it.
allowing it.
Good. Yeah.
Did 18,000 steps.
Round it up, 18, definitely.
How have you
Easy
been?
18. Yeah, been pretty good.
Feels like ages since I've seen you.
2 weeks.
Feels like longer.
It does feel like longer. Yeah, I've been good.
Good.
Just various life stuff happening.
It's been a strange couple of weeks in the world.
Has it?
Yep.
Why?
Queen died.
Yeah, she did, didn't she? Have you? Are you continuing with your state mandated period of mourning?
I am still in my state mandated period of mourning. There's some crazy stuff going on, isn't there?
Look, I mean, we've already said we're going to dwell on it too much.
No.
But all I will say is, when stuff like this happens, it really shows you how weird, like, some religious and, I'll just say it, posh people's traditions are in this country.
Yeah, it's been very...
It's really weird.
It is really weird. It's been very interesting, some of the stuff that's been going on. Like last night I saw the Vigil of the Princes.
Yeah.
I was like, that's crazy. They just stand there doing nothing. And then Princess Anne's there. She's the first woman that's ever done it.
Yeah, that's great.
But then some of the things that are happening... Now this episode will come out on the day of the funeral.
Yes.
Which, should we release it? Who knows?
Yes.
Centre Parks are kicking everybody out of their site. For a day.
Well, if you live like 300 miles away.
It's mad. It's the
so
most
weird.
insane decision I've ever
so
heard.
So weird.
It's the most insane decision I've ever heard. It's like, go away for a day, and then you can come back the next day.
I've seen some brilliant things. I mean, you can find all these things on Twitter
Yeah.
and all the social medias. Though, like the BBC at 18 minutes past 3 in the morning, the other morning, thought, oh, we'll go and talk to this lady who appears to be laying something outside Buckingham Palace. And it was this woman absolutely out of her box.
No way.
Laying a Princess Leia figure down because she was royal just like the Queen.
It is madness.
Honestly, it's like unbelievable. It's like I say, just the traditions are just, it's odd. It's an odd situation. I would just say, look, if you can't really be wrong. If you want to go and pay your respects and that helps you, that's absolutely fine. But also, if you want to go and shout at an alleged sex offender, fucking go and do it, man. These people would,
It's illegal to do it. It's crazy.
Unbelievable.
I saw a bike rack that was closed for a fortnight.
I saw this.
Morrison's have turned the beeps off their checkout.
No way.
Literally, the checkouts don't beep anymore. Out of respect. I'm like... The whole country's lost its mind.
It's like
weird. this lady has died and taken all of our common sense with her. It's insane. It really is.
Is that what she would have wanted?
No, food banks are closed on Monday.
I know. And worst of all, right?
Cancer screenings have been cancelled.
Worst of all, well, yeah, which is all terrible. And also, the fucking government has just had 6 weeks off.
Yeah.
And now giving themselves another 2 weeks off to process this whole thing, whilst people are out there starving and can't heat their homes. What a situation. It's not what she would have wanted, people.
Of course it isn't. It really isn't.
I've seen so many good posts and stuff, because you've got all these companies and brands sort of going monochrome, all their their logos go monochrome and paying their respects. And there's everything from supermarkets to fast food outlets to Pepperami, everything. Someone said, "Can you imagine if this happened when your gran died?" And you'd be like, you're at the funeral or the wake or something, and you have to go, Dad, just to let you know, pizza's paid its respects. Domino's says sorry, thinking of you.
It's all insane. It is. I mean, we're not talking ill of the Queen, obviously. We're talking ill of the reaction to it.
It's the process and the tradition is just.
It's not even closing a bike rack isn't tradition. It's just a mental.
No.
Somebody's just lost their mind.
Yeah. How do you even close a bike rack?
They literally just laminated a piece of A4 paper and cable tied it to the bike rack, saying this is closed.
So if you did park your bike there,
it would be removed.
Someone has then got to go to the effort of removing it because the bike rack's closed.
Yes.
That seems more effort than just leaving it there.
Yeah. And where are you going to put it on another bike rack?
I had to bike 17 miles out of my way to find an open bike rack. Because you can't close railings.
No. Just park it on the railing next to it or the tree next to it. It's like we've all lost our minds. Collectively lost our minds. But rest in peace, Liz.
It's a very bizarre few days it's been.
It's been a strange week on Normal Island, that's for sure.
Oh, my days.
Anyway, sad days, but we'll move on. Things have to carry on. Should we do some Netflix news?
Do you know what doesn't stop?
Netflix.
News. Movie and streaming news does not stop.
It does not.
Because in our absence last week, if you are a patron, you would have seen our bumper-sized newsletter.
Oh, it was massive.
As a small token for us not being here last week.
It was 8 pages long. I was very proud of you.
Thanks.
It's all right.
But the news just doesn't stop because we've got quite a lot of news to look at this week as well. Starting with a double header from the Assassin's Creed brand.
Oh, okay.
Is that a brand you've played? A game you've played?
I've played a couple of them. I don't think I've ever completed one. But
no, me neither. I think I've played 2, maybe one of the later ones as well. And just I
played the pirate one quite a lot.
Okay,
I remember playing that one.
Well, this week, Ubisoft have had their annual forum /
all these game companies do this now, don't they?
Sales pitch type thing.
Yeah.
And they've confirmed a couple of things. The first of those being that the live action Assassin's Creed series is a go at Netflix. Not only is it a go, it now has a showrunner assigned to it. And that person is Jeb Stewart.
Sorry.
The absolute Jeb Stewart. He is currently the showrunner on Vikings Valhalla.
Okay, so he's already with Netflix.
Yeah, and once he's finished with that, he's going to do Assassin's Creed, the series.
Talk about being stereotyped.
Yeah. Not only is he the showrunner on Valhalla, he is the creator, writer, and executive producer.
Wow.
It is said that the Assassin's Creed show is going to be an epic, genre-bending live-action adaptation of our video game series. So says Mark Alexis Corte, the executive producer of the games.
Sweet.
Yeah, no, obviously, timeline yet, because I'm pretty sure Vikings Valhalla is an ongoing thing that is coming back for more.
Yeah, I think that's still going.
It was a huge hit
earlier
this year. But maybe Jeb will hand that off to someone else.
Sounds like it does. You can't do 2, so sounds like he will.
So, yeah, I mean...
I hope it's better than that shocking film that Fassbender did.
I've never seen it.
It was awful.
I really want to watch it.
It was terrible.
For someone who's kind of...
Why wasn't he in our overrated conversation?
Yeah, it's a good point.
Michael Fassbender.
I was just going to say, for someone who's pretty highly regarded as a decent actor, I think generally his reputation is pretty good.
Yeah.
He's been in some terrible movies.
Remember The Snowman? Did you
the one it wasn't even finished.
It wasn't even finished. And Assassin's Creed, they're 2 of the worst films I've ever seen, and these are both of them.
Yeah.
There we go. That's finished off a real talk from 3 weeks ago. Michael Fassbender.
Laying these breadcrumb trails throughout this show. It's what keeps people coming back. Some more Assassin's Creed news.
Right, okay.
Ubisoft also announced that they are in partnership with Netflix on an Assassin's Creed mobile game.
Ooh.
So you can pillage on your commute on the bus if you want to. Ubisoft announced that they are partnering with Netflix on an Assassin's Creed mobile game and 2 other mobile titles that will be available exclusively to Netflix members globally with no ads or in-house purchases, i.e. on Netflix games.
Okay.
All 3 games will be available in 2023, as well as the Assassin's Creed mobile will be Valiant Hearts, which is a sequel to Ubisoft's award-winning game Valiant Hearts: The Great War. It will be directed by the original core team, but feature a new story. And they will also release a sequel to The Mighty Quest for Epic Loot, which is a mobile game previously shut down in 2016.
I can't say I'm familiar with either of those 2 games.
Mike Verdu, who is Netflix's Vice President of Games,
Vice President again? Where are all the Vice Presidents gone?
says, "We are thrilled to work with Ubisoft, whose track record creating memorable worlds for fans is unmatched. This partnership will provide our members with exclusive access to some of the most exciting game franchises as we continue to build a catalogue of great mobile games for all our members around the world."
Nice.
There you go.
Netflix Games is getting some big titles there.
Sure. I think Assassin's Creed is a real sort of jewel in the crown, isn't it? If you've got a brand like that on.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's one of the biggest game franchises of all time.
Talking of jewels and crowns,
Yep.
The Crown is a Netflix show.
It is, indeed.
It's a bit associated to the news of the week.
Yes.
Interestingly, come and join the pity party, because if it has been pointed out that in the last week, so since the death of Queen Elizabeth II, there has been an 800% rise in viewing hours of The Crown in the United Kingdom.
That's mad.
Compared to the previous week. In the United States, viewership has quadrupled in the same time frame.
Wow.
And in France, The Crown had more than 3 times the viewers it had on the previous weekend. It is also currently amongst the top 10 trending TV shows on Netflix Australia.
It's number 7 in the world rankings, so I've just checked.
There you go.
Around season 1. Beating out is actually higher than Stranger Things season 4.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, I suppose it makes sense.
Season 5 of The Crown, just as a reminder, is due in November.
But they've halted production, haven't they?
Yeah, they must be nearly finished by now,
they must,
surely.
Yeah, I read that they'd halted production as a mark of respect. A mark of respect from a show that she didn't authorise or like.
Yeah. Or, unless they're just going back to back and they're because it's been renewed for a 6th and final season, hasn't it? So, yeah.
Yeah, because there was a lot of casting done, wasn't there, over the weeks? Because I think...
Of young princes.
Prince William's got 3 different actors in one season.
Yes.
So I did see that. And they've cast Catherine as well. So I didn't think it'd go that modern, but apparently it's...
Well, I'm not sure that was originally the plan, because if you remember, going back a few years now, I think it was only commissioned for 5.
Yeah, it was.
And I'm pretty sure they said we're going to stop around the death of Princess Diana. Yeah. But they are now going
further forward.
Past.
Interesting.
I mean, is it too soon for me to say, do you think they'll go all the way up to, we've got a life now to...
Maybe. It's going to feel rushed though, surely. I mean...
Possibly.
Diana was only just coming into the last series.
Yeah.
So you've got, 25 years since she died now.
Yeah.
You're going to cram all that into 2 seasons.
2 seasons.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Who knows? Watch this space. We'll watch The Crown.
Yeah.
Because neither of us do, so...
Okay. Let's talk about the Emmys.
Yes,
which
let's
were
talk
held
about the Emmys.
A couple of nights ago.
Yep.
Well, last week, as you listen to this.
Yes.
The TV Emmys.
Yep.
Shall we run through some of the winners?
Do it.
So, Outstanding Drama Series was won by Succession.
Surprise, surprise to nobody.
I mean...
It beat some big players.
Yeah, so it bested Better Call Saul, Euphoria, Ozark, Severance, Squid Game, Stranger Things, and Yellow Jackets. I mean, Succession just feels very...
awardy.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Emmys have always had their favourites, and it's just how the Emmys works. It's just what they do.
Outstanding comedy series went to Ted Lasso.
Again. But to be fair, Ted Lasso is a great show.
Oh, yeah. Again, there's some good competition in there. Curb Your Enthusiasm, Barry, Only Murders in the Building, What We Do in the Shadows.
It's been a big year for TV.
Sure. Lead actor in a drama series went to Lee Young-jae from Squid Game.
Excellent. Good for him.
I think he's great.
Yep.
I'm not sure he's the best option in this category, considering Jason Bateman was there for Ozark, Brian Cox for Succession. Again, you'd have thought he'd be.
Didn't he win it last year?
Favourite for that. I think he may have done. Bob Odenkirk in Better Call Saul.
Bob Odenkirk has never won an Emmy for either Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul.
Well, I will give you a stat. Spoiler alert. Better Call Saul won nothing at the Emmys.
Yep.
It has now been nominated. I believe it's
14?
46 Emmys.
Really? Wow.
And has won 0.
That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. But I also read something today that said that the last season of Better Call Saul was split into 2 sections.
Yeah.
And the second section actually qualifies for next year's Emmys.
Yeah.
So they'll just get everything then. Because that's what the Emmys do.
Which is, what's the point in awards then?
Yeah, exactly.
Because all you're doing, it's the Lord of the Rings all over again at the Oscars,
it is,
isn't
yeah,
it? Years and years ago. Where they just went, we know you're doing 3 movies.
Yep.
With Better Call Saul, we know you're doing 6 series. We'll just give you more at the end.
Yeah, it's exactly what they did with Lost.
Not rewarding you for the great work you do.
Lost it. The same thing happened with Lost. That didn't win anything till its last season. It just happens. If Rhea Seehorn doesn't win Best Actress at next year's Emmys, we riot. Because nobody's better than her in those last 6 or 7 episodes.
Win it for that show that last aired 14 months ago.
No, nobody's ever been better than her. She was in the last few episodes of that show.
The lead actress in a drama series went to Zendaya in Euphoria.
I'm pretty sure she won that last year as well. Again, some massive competition in there.
A couple of
Brits.
actresses that have been on this show before in that category. In Melanie Linsky and Sandra Oh.
Jodie Comer was in that category as well. She's like everybody's darling at the moment.
Supporting actor in a drama series went to Matthew McFadden from Succession. Supporting actress went to Julia Garner for Ozark. Lead actor in a comedy went to Jason Sudeikis from Ted Lasso.
Steve Martin and Martin Short were both nominated in that.
Yeah. Lead actress in a comedy series went to Jean Smart. Which is interestingly, going back to Only Murders in the Building, I would probably stick my neck out and say that Martin Short and Steve Martin are not as good as Selena Gomez, and she did not get a nomination.
That's true.
Supporting actor in a comedy series went to Brett Goldstein.
He's everybody's favourite at the moment.
That was the Ted Lasso Award.
Nick Mohammed was nominated for that as well.
Supporting actress in a comedy went to Cheryl Lee Ralph from Abbott Elementary.
I'm not aware of that show.
No, I'm not either. Lead actor in a limited series was Michael Keaton for Dope Sick, which is on Disney Plus.
Yeah, apparently that's great.
Lead actress in a limited series went to Amanda Seyfried for The Dropout.
There's so many categories.
Yes, there is lots. I mean, I'm probably not going into like competition program or. Actually, I'll go into 2 weird ones. Well, not weird ones. Outstanding documentary was The Beatles Get Back on Disney Plus. You know that thing that was like 17 hours long?
Yeah.
I think, do you just make something 17 hours long and then you win all the awards?
Absolutely.
And the most outstanding structured reality program, like rolls off the tongue that one, was mine and your favourite show, Queer Eye on Netflix.
Netflix.
Well done to those guys.
They also won outstanding unstructured reality program for Love on the Spectrum.
There you go.
Yeah, some good work, some good wins there. If, like I said, Rhea Seehorn needs an award for Better Call Saul, if she doesn't get one next year, I'm going to riot.
But it's not.
Not that I give it any.
But it's not consistent because you'd have something like, look, I think the show is fine. Modern Family would win every single year, and like the some of the cast in that would have got an Emmy for like 10 years in a row.
Yeah.
And then Rhea Seehorn's going to do something like you say, Better Call Saul and come away one Emmy from 6 years or 7 if they've split the season. So.
Yeah. How has Bob Odenkirk never won one?
Yeah.
This is just mad. It's absolutely mad. His autobiography, I'm about halfway through now, by the way. It's really good.
Oh, excellent.
I'm really enjoying it.
Good. Puck news.
Puck news?
Yeah, I want to feel like it's a hockey news site, but I don't think it is. Puck news has done a profile on Netflix co-founder Reed Hastings.
Okay.
And has sort of commented on his refusal in the past to abandon the binge release model.
All right.
On the streaming service. But it does note that Netflix seems to be softening this slightly if you consider Stranger Things, for example, was released in 2 parts, as was a couple of the reality shows that have come out in the last year or so. They've sort of kept the final couple of episodes for a few weeks later. They say that Netflix is softening also because data is coming back, which seems to show that the weekly or at least splitting of series release shows that it retains subscribers better. If you compare Disney Plus and some of the other competitors that do a weekly release schedule rather than a all-in-one binge. It's not really news. It's just a few stats and a bit of a opinion piece, really. Do you think that's something Netflix would eventually go towards?
I've been giving this a bit of thought just lately, and I actually think I prefer weekly releases.
Okay.
Just if I think of some of the shows I've watched lately, like Better Call Saul was a weekly release thing. It just made me want to watch it.
So we get that weekly because it comes straight to Netflix from broadcast in the US, doesn't it? So.
Only Murders in the Building comes out weekly.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. I feel like it builds up your excitement a bit more rather than just binge through everything.
And they're both kind of water cooler type shows, aren't they? That you can discuss a bit. And certainly it worked with going back to like WandaVision. That had a lot of speculation as it was going through as well.
I actually think for shows like that, you kind of lose that ability to converse with people between the episodes, and I feel like that adds a bit more. Like you're going to work the next day after you've watched an episode of Better Call Saul and talk to somebody for an hour about it.
Yeah,
and then it builds up the excitement for the next week. I actually think the more I'm
as opposed to I've watched all of Cobra Kai. What do you think of it?
Exactly. I actually think I'm kind of changing my because I was really for binge watching shows a while back, but I feel like I'm changing my mind a little bit on it.
Yeah,
it's an interesting one.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see because Netflix have been pretty steadfast on.
Yeah, they have
on that,
and they still are really.
Yeah,
they don't intentionally release anything week by week, do they? They only did with Better Call Saul because they had to over here. I don't think they generally do.
And even Strange Things, we were only talking. Was it 3 weeks between part 1 and 2?
But I don't think they do anything.
It would take you that long to watch part 1 anyway because it was so long.
Exactly.
Okay.
No, it's an interest. It's maybe scope for a bigger debate on that one.
Let's see what happens as we go into 2023.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like Rian Johnson.
Me too.
That is my disclaimer.
Okay.
And in the last week, you may have seen that the teaser trailer has been released for Glass Onion.
I have.
A Knives Out mystery, which arrives on Netflix on the 23rd of December.
Yep.
And has a limited release in theatres.
Yes.
In November. Well, Rian Johnson, obviously writer director of said movie, has done an interview this week, and he said, "This film's better seen in a theatre."
Okay. This film that he's made for Netflix?
Yeah, with Netflix money. My goal is to hopefully have it be so if you want to see it in a theatre, you can. This movie above anything else, is designed to be a good time with a big crowd of folks in a theatre.
What?
Dude.
I think you've missed the brief.
Do you know what Netflix is?
Yeah.
It's not that. It's none of those things. Your movie is probably going to be brilliant.
Yeah.
And a huge success. But you can't have your cake and eat it.
Of course you can't.
Or in this case, take the Netflix dollar and
also
eat it.
Eat it. What a stupid thing to say. Can you imagine people in the Netflix offices, when they heard that interview go out, must have been furious.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine?
This is not an approved
Yeah, this is the biggest
train
film.
of thought.
We've got Daniel Craig coming back for a sequel to one of the biggest murder mystery films in recent years. It's going to be huge. This is going to be a huge release for Netflix. They're going to push this film everywhere. Yeah. It's going to be on the side of buses and everything. And then he comes out and says, "Oh, you probably should watch it in the cinema, but you can't."
Do you want some numbers?
Yes.
Well, I'll finish the quote first. John Johnson said, "It's less like Top Gun, which is about the big experience of the screen and the sound."
I watched that last week on a small screen. Okay. It was good.
Fine. And it's more about being surrounded by people who are going to be having as much fun as you.
Okay.
I just, invite people around?
Yeah.
Charge on the door? No, don't do that. You
When I go to the cinema quite regularly.
Yeah.
I don't sit there and think, I'm really enjoying this, and I really hope everybody else here is too. I just don't think like that.
Well, yeah, I guess. You didn't make the film, I suppose.
No.
Knives Out was released in 2019.
Yes, it was.
First movie. It made more than $300 million worldwide. And its budget was only $40 million.
It's great. It's a great film.
Netflix paid $450 million for 2 sequels. It's $225 million each.
That's mad. That's nearly as much as the first one made.
Yeah.
And it isn't. I don't know. It looks good. It does. Basically, all they've done is taken Daniel Craig's character and put him into another story. There doesn't appear to be anything else that's joining these 2 films together.
No. I mean, I just think the amount of wheelbarrows of money that Johnson's going to be making for this.
Just go, be quiet.
Yeah. Don't have a moan.
Wow. Next.
Okay, we've had in the last few months the Elvis biopic.
We have.
Which I think fair to say had mixed reviews.
Yeah, I think so. My mum thought it was amazing.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. I haven't seen it yet.
I mean, it's Baz Luhrmann.
Yeah.
He's done some great stuff. He can also be quite pretentious and self-absorbed. I haven't seen it. I would like to see it. I will get to it at some point.
Same.
Well, hot off the heels of the Elvis biopic.
Yeah.
Sofia Coppola has signed up to direct a biopic of another Presley.
Okay.
Priscilla.
Okay. Wow. I don't know a lot about Priscilla Presley.
She was in the Naked Gun movies.
Yeah.
Kaylee Spaney will star. The script has been adapted by Coppola from Priscilla Presley's 1985 book, Elvis and Me, which shared full details of her life married to the king.
Right, okay, so it's... I guess there's a story there to tell. People are clamouring for Elvis information. So
Jacob Elordi will play Elvis. So there you go. 2 Elvises within a year or so of each other on the big screen.
Why not?
No release date yet, but shooting starts before the end of the year.
Cool. Wonder if there was any consideration of putting Austin Butler in it as Elvis again.
Oh, in the Elvis cinematic universe?
Yeah. Just have one Elvis.
Yeah. But was Priscilla in the...
I've no probably.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I imagine so.
Oh, yeah. Are you then just not making the same movie?
From somebody else's perspective? Yeah, maybe.
Quickest remake ever. A directing debut is on the cards.
Okay.
Anna Kendrick is going to step behind the camera.
Right.
In the true crime thriller, The Dating Game. She will also step in front of the camera and more behind the camera as she is also producing and starring in the movie.
Right, okay.
It is based on the true story of Cheryl Bradshaw, who was a bachelorette on the hit US 70s TV matchmaking show, The Dating Game. It's basically Blind Date.
Yeah, I think it is.
She chose handsome and funny bachelor number 1, Rodney Alcala. But behind Alcala's charming facade, how do you say that word?
Facade.
There you go. Was a deadly secret. He was a psychopathic serial killer.
Oh, wow. Is that a true story?
Yeah.
Okay, I've never heard of that.
Kendrick says, I loved this script from the moment I read it. And while I was thrilled to be playing the character of Cheryl, when the opportunity came to direct the film, I jumped at it. She is presenting it at the upcoming Toronto International Film Festival because she is looking for distributors of the movie.
Cool. Well, it sounds like an ideal... You've got a movie there, haven't you?
Yeah.
Psychotic serial killer goes on blind date.
I kind of almost feel if that was the 70s, how has this not been made?
How's it not been made already?
But,
absolutely. We'll keep our eyes open for that. I like Anna Kendrick. She's good.
Yeah. Okay. Last bit of news.
Go.
But it's a lot of news.
Okay.
Last week was D23. You know what D23 is?
Nope.
It's Disney's big showcase of upcoming projects, TV shows, movies, etc. There's a lot of headlines. Would you like me to give you some of the
Go for
announcements?
I'm going to close the page down because I don't want to be spoiled.
Disney Animation announced that Wish is a new movie that will look into the story of the mythical and fabled wishing star.
Ooh, okay.
It comes out next November. Basically, that whole Disney star that goes across the castle. Yeah, doing a movie about that.
Okay.
So, a Haunted Mansion movie is coming out as well.
Are there other Haunted Mansion movies?
Yeah, Eddie Murphy did one.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah. This one will have in it Winona Ryder.
Okay.
Dan Levy.
Oh, wicked.
And Hassan Minhaj, who I am not familiar with. There will be a live-action Snow White movie.
Live action?
Coming 2024.
Nice.
There is a logo if you really want to go and look at it. That was announced. The teaser trailer was released for the upcoming live-action Little Mermaid movie.
I saw that. I did see that trailer.
Also announced for 2024, a live-action prequel of The Lion King.
Ooh.
Entitled Mufasa, The Lion King. I don't know if anyone's crying out for that.
No, I don't think so.
There you go. A Peter Pan remake will hit Disney Plus next year called Peter Pan and Wendy.
Nice.
There's a poster for that.
I love the Peter Pan story.
You can find a teaser trailer and a poster for Disenchanted, which is the sequel to Enchanted. If you remember that.
Isn't that a Netflix cartoon?
Adams movie from a few years ago. That's the Matt Groening cartoon.
What's that called?
Disenchanted.
Disenchantment.
Oh, Disenchantment.
Yes, it is.
There you go. The trailer dropped for Hocus Pocus 2.
Oh, sweet.
Which arrives on Disney Plus this Halloween.
I know quite a few people are excited about that one.
Yeah. Pixar's first original TV series was announced.
Okay.
Win or Lose will debut on Disney Plus and follows a kids' Little League baseball team. A couple more Pixar movies were announced. Elemental will be a sci-fi romp. Elio will be released as well, which is also sci-fi and will follow the story of a young boy who accidentally becomes Earth's ambassador for a sort of United Nations, but for aliens.
Okay. Sounds fun.
A sequel is in development for Inside Out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's like a heart-wrenching film.
Oh, it's an absolute journey.
Destroyed me, that film did.
There is a trailer for season 3 of The Mandalorian.
Okay.
Which will be released before the end of this year. There's a behind-the-scenes look at Jude Law on Star Wars Skeleton Crew, another Disney Plus series coming, as well as a first look at Star Wars Ashoka, another Disney Plus Star Wars series.
How much Star Wars stuff are they getting out?
New footage from Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Okay.
A sneak peek at Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Marvel announced and released a trailer for Werewolf by Night, a Halloween special.
What's that?
It's like go and check the trailer out. It's like a ye olde Hammer.
Oh, really?
Horror type thing. It's just a man who turns into a werewolf. They also dropped a trailer for Secret Invasion, which is an upcoming Nick Fury, Maria Hill series.
Oh, right, okay. With Sam Jackson?
Yes.
Nice.
Kei-Hu Kwan was officially announced as having joined the cast of Loki for season 2.
Oh, cool. I like how he's having a big comeback.
Yeah, that's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's cool. I saw a picture of him with Harrison Ford. That was nice.
Yes. Matt Shakman was confirmed as director for the Fantastic Four movie. He was the director on first season of WandaVision.
Okay.
The cast was revealed for Thunderbolts, which, as I understand it, is basically Marvel's version of the Suicide Squad.
Oh, so all the bad guys get together.
Yeah, so it's gonna be Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Wyatt Russell, who was like fake Captain America.
Yeah.
David Harbour.
Oh, he was like
Black Widow.
Yeah.
Hannah John Kamen, who played Ghost in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Sebastian Stan, obviously the Winter Soldier, and Florence Pugh. Flo Poe herself.
Flo Poe herself.
Tim Blake Nelson has been cast in the new Captain America movie, Captain America New World Order. He will play the leader. Trailer and posters released for The Santa Clauses.
Okay, what's that?
We're going back to that universe this Christmas.
The actual Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Is that Tim Allen?
Yeah, yeah. It is. It's Tim Allen. Tim Allen and Elizabeth Mitchell will both return.
Wow.
To that franchise. The first trailer for Percy Jackson and the Olympians was released. The first trailer for National Treasure, Edge of History was released.
Lots of stuff going on over at the Big D.
Yeah.
The Big D. I don't think I can call it that.
Talking of the biggest D.
Okay.
And I'll leave it at this. There is also a trailer and poster released for Willow.
Oh, really?
The TV series.
Wow.
Which I believe also arrives before the end of the year, starring Warwick Davis and Christian Slater.
Warwick Davis must think all of his Christmases have come at once to get that role again.
Yeah.
He must look, because he loves
Let me check my diary.
Yes, I'm free.
Yeah, I'm free.
Absolutely free. Of course I am. Good for him. That sounds good. There's a lot of good stuff coming from Disney then.
There's a lot of stuff. Loads of things for Star Wars fans to moan about.
Yeah.
100%.
And Marvel fans.
Yeah. I think we'll stop the news there.
Good news. Well done. Enjoyed that. Loads of stuff going on. Have you watched anything good at the top of the stream?
I don't think I've watched loads.
I haven't either.
The past week.
I've been away.
Yeah. I've watched the first 2 episodes of Cobra Kai.
I think I've done 4.
Okay.
Or maybe 5. Has it always been as soapy as it is?
Yes.
I know it has. It just feels...
It's always surprising.
Feels more. I don't know what it is. There's just something that feels more about it this season.
I told to my wife when we were watching, I don't know which episode it was, first or second, when Miguel meets his dad.
Yeah.
His dad doesn't know, obviously. And he turns to him and says, I feel like I've known you for a lot longer than a day. And I was like, this is so soapy.
It's proper soapy. It just feels like more in this season. For some reason.
do think it's always had that element. I think that from what I've seen from having only seen the first 2 episodes, they very much tie up the loose ends from the previous season in terms of that whole Mexico storyline.
Very quickly.
Yeah. And so there is quite a lot of like emotional content there in that first couple of episodes. So I'm really just waiting for it to kick-start, to be honest.
What's going to happen?
They were fine. I've enjoyed them.
Yeah, it's a great show. It's a great show. It's a lot of fun.
It's a perfect turn your brain off show.
Yeah. But so I just found myself laughing at it a little bit in the last few episodes. And I don't know if I've done that before. But I might have. I might have just been misremembering stuff. I literally got back off holiday on Sunday and just turned it straight on. I was excited to watch it. I love Cobra Kai.
Sure.
I've also watched the first 2 episodes of the new Chef's Table series.
Oh, brilliant. What's that?
It's basically 6 episodes on pizza.
Yeah.
So I've never seen a Chef's Table thing before, but I think it's like each episode's based around one different chef.
Okay.
And they're what they do. And this season's all pizza chefs.
This is on Netflix?
It's on Netflix, yeah.
Cool.
It's I think there's a few different types of Chef's Table.
Yeah.
But the first 2 were the first one was really good. It was about this guy called Chris Bianco.
Okay.
And he makes pizza in Phoenix, Arizona. And the eminent pizza reviewer in the world reckons he's the best pizza maker in the world.
Oh, nice.
And he's in Phoenix, Arizona, not in Italy, not in New York. And he's just this guy. He's had to retire from making pizzas because he's got asthma and he was inhaling too much flour.
No way.
So he's had to step back from making pizzas and teach people how to make his style of pizza. But it's a really interesting episode. And you know me and pizza. It's like,
did they look like the best pizzas you've ever seen?
They did look good, to be fair. They did look good. Not as good as the ones I make, obviously. But so I've seen it. I was on there. I was like, well, I've got to watch that. It's all about pizza. So yeah, I'd recommend it. The first two are really good.
That sounds good.
The second one's about he was a TV chef in the 90s.
Yeah.
He used to go on an Italian TV show.
Okay.
To make pizza, and then it kind of sent him insane. So he retired from that and opened a restaurant. And yeah, he kind of lost his marbles a little bit.
There's like part documentary.
Yeah, it's basically focused on one guy.
Show.
But no, there's no cooking in it. There's no like recipes or anything like that. It's just about these guys who make pizza for a living.
Cool.
And yeah, he kind of got into the TV lifestyle. He got into drugs and sex, drugs and rock and roll. And then he gave it all up, lost a load of weight, and opened his own restaurant.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so it's interesting.
Really
I think there's 6 of them in this season, so I'm going to watch more. But that's literally, because I've been away, that's all I've watched this week.
Excellent.
You watched anything else, or are we done?
No, that's it. That's all I've watched.
Shall we move on to Real Talk?
Let's tackle Real Talk.
It was an interesting one this week.
Yes.
Suggested by Ross Cook, I believe.
I think so.
What was the topic for discussion?
Should adaptations be accurate to the original or be totally open to being changed?
What a broad subject this is.
I mean, should we start with our views first?
Yeah, we can do for a change.
Last.
We always go last. And also, I did forget to put them out on the socials, so I've been on holiday.
It's fine.
we should start getting back to normal next week, hopefully.
I say, fucking fill your boots.
Well, just do it. Do whatever you want.
I think as long as you give, based on this, it's all there in the word. In the words, isn't it? It's based on.
It's your take on that story.
Yeah.
That's fair. I think I agree with you to a point. I think...
Because especially with books.
Yeah.
Because how I read a book, I might be reading the same book as you, but picturing, it's the same words, but how that plays out in my brain.
You'll be picturing something completely different.
Totally different. I remember when I was a little kid, 12-year-old Nick, was going to the cinema.
Long time ago.
To see Jurassic Park.
Oh, yeah, you would have.
The year before, I've read the book. Because I was like, I think I've heard about this movie. Oh, it's a book. Oh, you're allowed to write books about dinosaurs coming back to life. Wow, that sounds amazing. Loved it. Loved the book.
Yep.
Watched the movie. Came out of the movie. I was like, well, that wasn't like the book. It's not how I pictured the book.
It's interesting, isn't it?
And I remember my first reaction being, oh, it wasn't as good as I thought it would be. Since...
Yeah.
Loved that movie.
Yeah.
Can separate the two. Yeah, it's brilliant. It's a great adaptation. But the point still stands. What that was in my head isn't what was in Steven Spielberg's.
No, exactly.
There's no reason it should
it's
be.
Never going to be. It's never going to be. But I think you hit the nail on the head there. It's the separation of the two.
Yeah.
It's you're gonna go, oh, you're a Stephen King fan, you're going to bring up Stephen King again. You can't talk about adaptations and not talk about Stephen King.
I'll let you have it.
You can't do it. There's a lot of Stephen King books out there. There's a lot of Stephen King movies out there. I guess it comes down to, is there a difference between can you have a good adaptation, but it's a bad film? And can you have a bad adaptation of a good that turns into a good film?
Yeah.
So The Shining, for instance.
Yeah.
I think Sam mentions it in the Discord. Is a great book. It's a great film, but it's a bad adaptation.
Yeah, because they're totally different.
He's not even tried to make them the same.
Yeah.
So, what is the question we're asking here? Is my question is it? Do you have a good book that becomes a good film? Is therefore that the correct thing to do, or is it all about the way that the book is adapted into the film? And like The Mist, for instance, The Mist is a great example. The film adaptation of The Mist.
Yeah.
It's so close to the story, but they changed the end.
Yeah, and Stephen King says
it's better.
The end to that film is better than my book.
And it is.
Yeah.
He's right. So, and then you've got things like Under the Dome, which is a great book, terrible ending again. And the TV show's a great show, again, with a terrible ending. But they're different.
Yeah.
It's a really tough question.
Should adaptations be accurate to the original? No. I
don't think they should. I mean,
no one complains.
You've got to be respectful of them.
Yeah.
You can't just go and blatantly change.
Yeah.
I'm going to mention The Dark Tower now. That isn't even an adaptation. It's somebody's gone, Stephen King once wrote a book about the Dark Tower. This is what it was about. And somebody's made a film from that one sentence.
Yeah.
It's not even an adaptation. So then that's disrespectful to the source material for what it is.
No one says, do they? So The Shining is a good example. Shawshank Redemption is another good example. No one says, if you make a good film like The Shining, they don't complain.
No.
They just say, oh, it's fine to be different.
Yeah.
If you make a bad film,
like the Dark Tower,
then people say, oh, it's terrible. Why haven't you done it like the book? But The Shining has become a classic, and therefore it gets excluded from that argument.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's not the same
I imagine
thing.
people read The Shining now and are disappointed that it isn't like the film.
Possibly,
because the film's probably bigger.
I'm sure the
film's
it's a 50-50 flow. Yeah,
I'm sure the film's bigger than the book is. I don't know. It's a really we could talk about this for hours on end.
Yeah, shall I run through some of the comments?
Yeah, go for it.
In the Discord. Wayno makes a good point. He says that I do understand why people don't want adaptations for change, but a lot of time it's when the written word doesn't translate to exciting spectacle. For example, Ready Player One is a good book, a really engaging story, but if they'd have done the film exactly the same, it would have been really dull.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree with that. It's a great shout.
Because you would have just been
Ready Player One's
watching a guy with a pair of glasses on.
Playing Pac-Man for hours on it. The Ready Player One's a really interesting one because the book's really good. The film's really good.
But they're totally different.
But they're completely different.
Yeah. You have to present that medium, that in a totally different way.
But the basics of the story are both the same.
Yeah.
But it's just, you can't do some of the stuff that's in that book in the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good example.
There's a couple of people, Wayne included, who say, if we're talking about sort of topical issues, look at Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Because the racists can't handle it. Just get over it. Everything's made up. If you can imagine a superhero, you can imagine a black superhero.
Yeah, absolutely.
You just don't want to.
You just don't want to.
Which is an excellent point. Ross Cook says, the whole point of adapting something should be to change it to suit the medium, the year it's being shown, and the director's vision for it. Otherwise, what's the point? I hate Zack Snyder's Superman, but at least he tried to do something. That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said about Zack Snyder on this show.
Definitely.
Harry Potter's put there as an example again.
Yeah.
Detailed books wouldn't make necessarily for good content on the big screen. Ross says he's got a great example that he's watched this week: Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The characters are very different from every version I've seen before, and I really loved it.
What's that on?
I don't know.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Go and you can do the research.
I would.
Yeah, Stephen King, as Samuel Holland points out in the Discord, has been on both sides of this. We talked about The Mist, where he's very much on board with the movie.
Yeah,
says you've improved my story, you've made a better ending. Versus obviously what he made of The Shining.
Yeah,
he didn't like that film.
It's disrespectful.
Unfortunately, kind of shit his own bed by then going and making his version of it,
which was also terrible.
Which was not good.
But Kubrick intentionally changed things in that film just to piss off Stephen King.
Yeah,
we did an episode with Grief Burrito probably 3 years ago now, about The Shining, and there's loads of little details in that film that he just changed just to piss off Stephen King. He did it on purpose.
Yeah. And Kubrick, that's Kubrick all over.
Down to switching the colours of the cars and
also
like
remember, at that period in time, King was a best-selling author.
Yeah.
But he was a relatively new kid on the block.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stanley Kubrick was at that point already a legendary Hollywood director.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of forgotten about at that time.
Yeah.
Kubrick's probably thinking, who the fuck's this guy?
Yeah.
Who's he to tell me that?
Kubrick saw something in The Shining and made his own version of it.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I have no issue with
that. Chris from Time Splitters podcast says, simple fact, the visual medium is so different to the written world, you have to make changes.
Yeah.
For example, Philip K. Dick's novels. How anyone would read those and say this would make a great movie is totally beyond me, but they did, and we have things like Blade Runner and Total Recall.
It's a great point. It's a really good point.
Yeah. He does say, if you go and completely change the story to the point of it being unrecognisable, then the question would be, why do you even say this is an adaptation?
Yeah.
I think the answer to that is because you're using those character names. Or
You get a big opening. You get a big opening weekend from people who already know the story.
Yeah, really interesting one. Great contributions.
Thanks, guys.
We will, in due course, post up what next week's Real Talk is.
We will indeed. Head into the Discord. That's the best place to get involved in Real Talk because I always forget to put them on the socials. So head into the Discord. The Discord link, as always, is in the show notes.
90% of the time, they're up on the socials.
Yeah, they do. It's just been a funny week. We're recording 2 days earlier than we normally do as well today. So we haven't had the time. But as of next week, we'll be back to normal and we will get stuff out to you.
Good.
Right, let's get out of here. What are we watching on this week's movie show, Nick?
Oh boy, what are we watching? Come back to this very feed on Thursday as we're going to a new country.
We are indeed.
We are going to watch an Austrian film.
Yep.
Land of Schwarzenegger.
Very much not in this film.
Skiing.
Or in this film.
We're going to watch Apocalypse, Please.
Apocalypse, Please. I feel like this is as bottom of the stream as we've ever been. I've said that before.
We've got a few numbers which we may reveal on Thursday. Suffice to say, not many people in the whole world have watched this movie.
No. How is this on Netflix? Is another question that we ask all the time, but this time it really applies.
I know we've dredged streams before, and I'm not giving anything away in terms of quality.
No.
But this is as bottom of the stream as it gets in terms of how out there this movie, because it's non-existent. This movie almost doesn't exist.
It's really it doesn't. It has no. I can't do any artwork to advertise this episode.
There's no poster.
There's no poster.
There's no presence.
There's
barely presence online for it.
It's barely got a trailer.
We're not 100% sure what year it was released in.
No.
That's not enough of a teaser.
That's a teaser for you to come back on Thursday. This episode could go for 10 minutes. It could go for 2 hours. Who knows? But we'll find out. You will know on Thursday.
Brilliant. Yeah, come back then and we will talk about Apocalypse, Please.
Apocalypse, Please. Cool. See you Thursday.
Cheers.
Bye.